hope the gut feeling is correct. So I'm feeling FaZe on this one, but we'll have to see. I think if they want to break out something like Tracer, you know, Too Easy is great on that. They have a lot of options, FaZe, that they can work with. So,
yeah, I'd probably agree that FaZe is favorited in particular on Route 66. It's an open map. It's got a lot of verticality, which we know Shadowburn loves to abuse on both of the heroes he's been playing the most lately.
Sure.
I don't expect him to see him on D.Va this time around, but either way, this is going to be a real test for Renegades and their current roster as they come into this one. FaZe is going to be a little bit tricky to stop. It's going to be starting off with Renegades on defense, FaZe on offense. One thing to note here, all the first maps for the entire group play portion have been randomized ahead of time. And the teams will be picking, whoever loses the first map will pick the second, whoever loses the second map will pick the third. So they were given this maps as early as we can get them so they can prepare for this. But Route 66 certainly not a map that the teams would avoid that much in this situation, FaZe in particular.
That's right. It's not played all that much, and we'll see. As you said, Renegades is going to be on the defensive side first. FaZe is starting off on offense. We saw a lot of Genji play from FaZe and MLG. Like I was saying before, that's really one of their biggest strengths. If they can get Shadowburn on Genji and be effective, the problem, then FaZe is in good. They're feeling good if they can do that. But the problem is if he actually no, he makes the switch to D.Va right afterwards. He thinks better of it. Yeah. He was
Renegades, neither Mangachu nor Man of Snow running Zarya right now, running on Mei and D.Va respectively.
Let's see how this goes for FaZe. Renegades is already going to drop from that high ground. Too Easy taking a dive all the way down as he gets booped. And Man of Snow able to take care of him. Jesus will pick up Forsaken as well. So already 3 down on the side of FaZe. They are going to have to go back to the drawing board here and regroup. Shadowburn just trying to get himself back there as he got ejected from his mech suit.
Man, it looks like they're actually going to leave him mechless in order to take even more time off of FaZe. FaZe already burned 45 seconds off the clock with that failed push. They're going to have to regroup and attempt this again. Nobody is quite there with the ultimates yet, although Man of Snow is getting really close to his self-destruct here. To see exactly how Renegades puts that to use. Probably going to wait for something else to pair it with.
Also see Shadowburn has switched over to Fair this time. Too Easy's going to start this one off by taking down Juvenile. Self-destruct comes through. Man of Snow able to get 2 with that one. Too Easy strikes back by taking down Mangachu, but Man of Snow still going off here as he gets 3 for himself. And FaZe will have to regroup, though. If they can get all of their respawns back quickly, they will have a pretty good opportunity to get all 6 of them to start pushing this cart, potentially before those Renegade respawns get back and are able to join the rest of their team. It looks like they are starting to come in now. We should be seeing a full-on fight here. In just a second, we do have a nano boost on the side of Renegades, excuse me. Sherlocky's got that one locked and loaded as he just sits in the back. He's trying to deal with Shadowburn that's flying around. And Azam soon will be coming up on it. Oh, and here comes the nano boost that's going to go off onto their own Reinhardt. Sherlocky gets taken down shortly after that. The Blizzard gets used as well. Shadowburn starts us off, though, as he was, as I said, able to take down Sherlocky. Sound barrier coming out on the side of Renegades, trying to give him a little bit extra gusto to take this fight on in. Man of Snow will take down Too Easy, so they've traded 1 for 1 thus far, and the fight's still going on. Renegades seeming to be getting a bit of the upper hand here, but Shadowburn was able to get Juvenile. There is going to be a Graviton, and look at that, the Biotic Grenade landing right on top of them, and you do have, well, you have him hanging on by the skin of his teeth there. Jesus, finally getting finished off. Psalms gets 3, and finally FaZe starting to get their footing here as they press on forward.
We've got no hit scan here on the side of Renegades, unless you're counting Sherlocky aiming down his sights here. But FaZe taking a lot of advantage of that with Shadowburn. Shadowburn coming from behind, taking out Sherlocky to really start that whole fight off. That verticality is going to be a problem if Renegades doesn't adjust their lineup to get to it.
You see already, too, going the way of Renegades. There is a sound barrier on FaZe. It was just a little bit late, I think, though. They dropped Too Easy and Shadowburn before it got off, and it looks like Renegades is going to be able to stop FaZe at this first checkpoint. So far, there's only a minute left on the clock, and they're going to have to regroup and do it quickly. They need to get it on this next push. If we take a look at ultimates, I mean, you do have a rocket barrage on the side of Shadowburn.
Oh, no.
Oh.
He's trying to get away. Yeah, get out. Slippery little Lucios, man.
That's right, man. He's gotta watch out for that guy. Well, he's all over the place, but I mean, FaZe this is kind of go time for them. 40 seconds. Arrakis is going to have that nano boost very shortly. Zom's coming up on a Graviton, so things looking pretty good, but the nano boost is up on the side of Renegades as well. We'll have to see how this one plays out. So far, a couple players from Renegades do have that high ground. Juvenile also has an Earth Shatter. That could be a big decider in this one. Graviton goes out. I'm not sure if anybody was really caught inside of it. Shadowburn hanging on to that Rocket Barrage. Raucus goes down. Shadowburn as well. Look at this. Renegades are holding on here, and I think FaZe might get shut out from this first point. Fact Fiction was able to get Jesus. The Blizzard comes down. That's got to be certain doom for FaZe here, as they are just cleaning up on the rest of the players on the side of FaZe. Renegades is, and they are able to hold on here. A full hold at the first point. Look at that. Renegades coming out strong.
On Route 66. Yeah, Shadowburn just not able to find that last opening they needed in the fight. Getting taken down really just took all the momentum out of FaZe. You can see Zoms coming in from the backside here. Now, this is before the second defense, it looks like.
Oh my. I mean,
oh yeah. That's what opened up the point into the second defense, and soon after that, I mean, Renegade's getting back fairly quickly, able to hold that at the end with no hit scan whatsoever was rather shocking to me.
And really, the fact that they were able to hold that point was all because of Man of Snow. Really, he got back in, he had his self-destruct, he sent it up into the air, zoned them a bit, and he was able to get himself on the payload to stop it from moving, buying enough time to get the rest of his team to get back and be able to take a fight there on the payload, and they ended up winning off of that. So Man of Snow really to credit for being able to hold on to that first point for Renegades, and FaZe now is going to switch over to the defensive side. They will have to come up with a big defense here because Renegades just showed them how it is done. But
Renegades doesn't even have to push it all the way. They don't have to cap the first point. They just have to push it exactly where FaZe Clan pushed it, which is not as difficult as FaZe would like that to be. Unfortunately, Renegades. I don't think they're actually going to run a Hanzo and a Widow. Do you?
I mean, who knows? Maybe this is...
People have been talking about the anti-tank Hanzo, right?
Yeah, right. Flame broke it first. He was like, that's the counter to the tank meta. Apparently, I've yet to see a team really effectively do it yet.
Well, we saw Envious use it on the first point of King's Row, but I mean, that's Taimu. It's hard to say that that's a hero success so much as just Taimu being Taimu.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you have to be a whole different level with Hanzo to really make that work. But Magnitude, nope. Okay. Just doing a little spot check on those cards to make sure that there's no surprise there, I guess.
Yeah.
Or perhaps just letting it loose. You'd think you'd want to send that a little further down to the corner.
Potentially a turret or something if they decide to run Torb.
I guess it makes sense. I mean,
not letting him build any early ult charge or anything. And regardless, you do have Mangachu up on the Pharah this time, and you also have Jesus that is going to be playing Reaper, not a pick that you see too often these days. And you also have Sherlocky, who's going to be on Zen. A very interesting comp coming out from Renegades here as they start their initiation. Juvenile charging on in. Man of Snow gets taken down first in this fight here. 2EZ's able to pick up onto that one. They trade 1 for 1 though as Mangachu takes down Forsaken. That's a pretty big pick, a counter pick here. Juvenile finished off right after that. They're just trading back and forth here. 2 players down on each side, and Mangachu is just desperately trying to keep himself alive at this point as he's being chased, finally getting that Harmony Orb from Sherlocky. And Jur gets finished off there, so that will be a failed push from Renegades. They have plenty of time. They have to regroup here. I mean, they barely need to move that cart much further. They need to win 1 fight.
Yeah, both Jesus and Mangachu about 75%, getting fairly close to their ultimate. If they're able to put those in the backline at all, I mean, this can really only sound barrier 1 of those effectively. Yuga's going to have to absorb a lot of the other one, but if they're able to kick him out of position, but here we go, sleeping in the backline.
Look at that. They're going to get the big sleep dart there. Raucus, Fact Fiction comes down, charges him, makes sure that he gets finished off. So FaZe off to a good start in this fight. Renegades is just going to have to stall for a bit. Shadowburn gets taken down by Sherlocky though, and here comes Mangachu. He's able to get Raucus. Things looking pretty good for Renegades, but FaZe is going to have to hold on tight here if they don't want to go down 1 map to none off the start. There is going to be a Graviton used by Zoms, desperately trying to win this fight. The Transcendence is then going to be used by Sherlocky to make sure the team stays healthy. Renegades getting 2, and they use the sound barrier just for good measure, and it looks like they are going to be able to pull this one out, quite possibly. 2EZ finished off by Jesus. FaZe members just desperately trying to jump onto this cart to keep this game going, but it's looking like it's all Renegades right now, coming off very strong on Route 66, and they will take a lead in this best of 3, 1-0.
Finals.
Oh my. Look at that, coming out strong with under the new name, showing FaZe what's up on Route 66.
I really thought Shadowburn was going to find an angle there. I mean, he was locked and loaded with the barrage. All he had to do was get in the right position over there. I mean, all you had to do was get in the right position over the supports and just let that thing loose, and they'll vaporize almost instantaneously. And that trade, even with the distances on Route 66 in that circumstance with some of the other picks that had been happening at the time, probably would have been worth it, but a sound barrier came out when he was kind of looking for that position, and I think D.Va was still on the map, and he ended up getting pushed out and then taken out, and at that point, FaZe just had no momentum whatsoever. The one person they were looking for to kind of break through and shut that down went down, and you're really kind of out of options there unless somebody makes a hero play, and Kingdom just wasn't letting him have that opening.
Absolutely not. Renegades being so strong here on that first map. Our replay is going to be Mangachu. Played that Mei on defense. Really was able to open up a lot of space, get a pick onto Lucio. And just fantastic play all the way around from this squad as they dominate FaZe.
There's the concussive that actually knocked him off. The very first one that was sent out was absorbed by Shadowburn, which you can pretty much expect. I mean, you're playing D.Va up there and guarding the Reinhardt shield in general. It's kind of one of the functions. If you're one of the people who's relatively new to Overwatch or don't fully fundamentally understand the dynamics that are going on here, part of the reason people are bringing D.Va so much, aside from just how strong she is when you get into that shield game, which is such a critical part of all of this, right? People just squaring off with a shield. You're trying to soak the enemy shield and make it go down faster. Well, D.Va can defense matrix in front of your Reinhardt, and that takes a lot of damage off, and you keep working that back and forth, and you come out with a shield HP advantage. You open up with something like an Earth Shatter after that if somebody messes up, but that's
yeah, or even a hook. Or
so that's what they're going to be doing right out there off the start, staying on top of big Earls. So you're going to be soaking that up. You're also picking up the concussive, which if that first one had landed, the positioning on that would have knocked off probably half of FaZe at that point.
Yeah.
Instead, they only got the Reinhardt, but that's enough, right? That destabilizes the entirety of Big Earls.
Absolutely. And we were talking about FaZe a lot before the match because they're the team that made it to the finals of MLG. Renegades, someone that has picked up some new players. We don't really know all that much about this team because we haven't seen this particular team line up very much. But they come out of the gate swinging here, take this match so quickly in about the most dominant fashion you possibly could. Was there any keys to victory that you saw here from Renegades? Things that was clearly the key that gave them this just dominating performance over FaZe?
I mean, I think Mangachu was a pretty big factor, not only on offense, but defense as well, playing on Mei. All around, they just seemed very collected on this map, and they took good trades. And FaZe, I don't know, I didn't see Shadowburn being incredibly effective. I don't know if you saw anything with him on Farah.
He was mostly
but, I
not
mean,
finding
it didn't seem
right
like he
angles
was
that
really
wanted.
being... Yeah.
I mean, playing a projectile character like Farah
especially
on a
if he has high ping,
is something else.
Brutal,
man. That's got to be tricky. But mostly, I don't know. I didn't see exactly what made Renegades fire off the sound barrier at that moment. If there was an ultimate they were trying to carry or counter at that point in time, but because we were watching it from Shadowburn's angle. But at that point in time, I mean, he was going right into position, getting ready to concuss himself probably directly into the back line off a wall or something like that. And as soon as that sound barrier came out, you could just see his intent change. He's like, well, I got to back off for a while. In the meantime, his team's engaged, and that's a fight you got to go in all at once. And if that's the situation, Farah certainly cannot blast through a sound barrier without like a close-range barrage.
Yeah, there was also a time, too,
or
where...
a long one. But
yeah, and there was also a time, too, where Forsaken had used a sound barrier, and I believe it came a little bit late. I believe it did, if I saw it correctly. It looked like he had used it after like already 2 of his guys went down. They were already down in the fight. He either needed to use that earlier or just save it all around until they come in for one last push. They had about a minute left at that point, if I remember correctly, and if they would have still had that sound barrier in the bank, they could have had a much better shot at taking that first point.
Absolutely. Now, map number 2 is going to be Hollywood, and this will be everything. Every match here is a best of 3 in the group stage, so if FaZe drops this one, they'll be going down 2-0 here in their first match of the group stage. What changes do you expect to see FaZe pulling out here, as they had a really big struggle there on Route 66? What do they need to do differently here on Hollywood?
I think if they can kind of get Shadowburn into the game as much as they can here, maybe get him onto maybe something like Genji if they can, because that's really when they shined at MLG, is when Shadowburn was rocking the Genji and he was able to use that effectively. Of course, it's what he's very much known for. So, I mean, if they can find a way to make him use, but the thing is, it's going to be tough regardless. It can be countered easy, and We also saw a lot of Pharah from him at MLG. Of course, ping wasn't as big of a factor, like you were saying.
Because they're live.
Like you were saying, David.
I would. What I think we need to be seeing out of FaZe at this point is, again, what you said, structuring more around Shadowburn. I mean, that's kind of the bread and butter of the team for a long time. I mean, too easy. He's going to be trying to get those hooks on Roadhog if he plays it, which he's been playing a lot of lately. But right now, I mean, Shadowburn, you have to kind of work around his tendencies in order to really have a cohesive team from what we've seen from them in the past.
Right.
Pharah in the last match, not necessarily getting it done, but we've seen him do that more than once pretty effectively. And like you mentioned, on Genji, if you're able to get him into the kind of position, or rather he gets himself in the kind of position where he's just such a huge problem. We're known for seeing him pull off kind of the talented like 4Ks, right, 3Ks. But a lot of those are he made a lot of an opening, his team stepped up, and they really set him up to just clean up everything. As I believe ZP called him, you know, the best garbage man in the business, or something along those lines. Pardon me for rephrasing that a little bit, but that's absolutely true. Renegades running Mangachu on Torbjorn and Jur on Symmetra. Something we saw a lot more of in MLG than in the Winter Premiere qualifier stage, but certainly something we've seen on Hollywood so far.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of teams try this out. Maybe not always the combination of the two, but at least one of them. I mean, we've seen teams like Cloud9, like Envious, all trying at least things like Symmetra and maybe even a Torb, a little bit here and there. As you said, not as much in the Winter Premiere qualifiers, but oh, look at this.
Whoa,
Jesus,
that's going to be a problem.
Right away. Fact Fiction's going to take him down. That was a bit of a rough positioning from Jesus there. That already gives FaZe that one pick to start this off. Look at this, another hook as he takes down Juvenile. That's a great way to start this off. FaZe going off here too easy, specifically as he's able to get two. And things are looking very good for them here. Renegades may have another shot to get back in. They're doing a good job of just kind of delaying Mangachu, Man of Snow, that is. Hey, that's his name. He's still in here, gets ejected from his suit. He was stalling as much as possible, but look at this. All of the kills going the way of FaZe right now. They're standing strong on the point. Renegades defense getting shut down immediately, and I don't think it had anything to do with the Torbjorn or the Symmetra. Like, that wasn't the problem for Renegades. It was just that hook off the start, getting pulled in with Jesus, and that it just snowballed from there for FaZe.
Absolutely. Too easy, really opening up that first point with two huge picks. That's going to throw off Renegade's entire Symmetra Torbjorn strategy. I mean, you really got a snowball to make Symmetra effective.
Have to win that first fight, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're going to change off, and we're going to see Mangachu switch to McCree and Jur back on Lucio for this next phase. But here comes a nano boost.
Look at this aggression coming out here as they just come straight back in using the nano boost onto Juvenile. He's able to pick up a couple there with the help of Jesus and Jur, and they're just... they're going to press hard right there. They were out for blood, so they're able to take one fight there and get it, but see FaZe, they have a lot of ultimates locked and loaded right now, and they should be able to win this next fight if they play their cards right.
Yeah, that stop right there is exactly what Renegades needed, trying to take some of the momentum out of FaZe, but FaZe with so many ultimates, here we go, and Earth Shatter into a nano, but he gets booped out of the way!
Getting booped out of the way, he still picks up on a Sherlock either way, so it's kind of all for naught, but still, great boop nonetheless. Fact Fiction already got two for himself as he takes down Juvenile and Sherlock. Rock is hitting a nice shot as he gets Jur, so FaZe just rolling back through. They used, I believe, at least 3 ultimates on that exchange for FaZe, but they do pick it up in the end. They get to stagger Man of Snow afterwards as well a little bit and make them wait on the respawn. So Renegades will be able to come back out, take another fight before this cart gets to the next checkpoint, and all they will have really is just, so far, the Deadeye for Mangachu, as he is now on McCree.
That's usually not enough. Meanwhile, FaZe with a Barrage and a Graviton ready to go. Oh, but Shadowburn getting taken down by Mangachu. He doesn't need the Deadeye. He's just going to take that high ground all by himself. Just the trusty old left click. Renegade's going to keep playing aggressively here on defense, trying to push away FaZe to, again, just prevent them from snowballing and getting that momentum. But that one combo, the Barrage Graviton is going to be something to really look out for.
I love this switch from Mangachu, too. He went McCree. Of course, he did that a little while ago, but still, I like the switch to deal with Shadowburn. You got to make sure he's dealt with. You can't let him just sit there and fly around. You can't expect Sherlock really to deal with it either, because he's got to deal with healing up the team. Look at that Deadeye in the back. He's able to get Forsaken, and Raucus is giving Mangachu a run for his money here. Renegades already with 2 as Too Easy goes down. Make that 3. Renegades able to hold on here, and Shadowburn finishes off Mangachu in the end, avenging his teammates, and he gets out as well. So,
and just like that, the ultimate economy going back into Renegade's favor, I should say into Renegade's favor for the first time overall. They got 4 locked and loaded here. Mangachu the only one to burn his. FaZe not able to get one of their combos out, but FaZe really has to get D.Va out of the way first before trying to unleash that barrage. If she's just floating around in any position she wants, I mean, she's going to absorb almost the entirety of that. Oh, but Graviton gets absorbed.
Oh my goodness, and here we go. It is going to come out. Mangachu take down Shadowburn yet again. Renegade starts it off. There is going to be 2 out of it from FaZe, though. Forsaken and Zombs both going down here, so they are going to have that 1-player advantage. Jesus, though, hanging on for dear life inside of the saloon. He's begging to get those anti-heals off him, but he just couldn't get it off in time, and that will be 3 picks for FaZe here. And they will be able to continue to move this card on forward. We might be able to see Renegades get out just in time to stall this one out. We'll have to see if they can make it. I don't believe so. Oh, they're going to shoot for it, though. Mangachu gets shut down by Fact Fiction. And they're still going to battle it out here as, oh my goodness, they are managing to pick this here. FaZe as they just crush all of Renegades as they come right back out of the spawn. They gave it an effort. They didn't expel any ultimates to do so either, so, I mean, no harm done there really, just stalling it out a little bit more, but they may actually end up stalling a lot as FaZe is pressing forward very aggressively, trying to pick up some of these respawners and some of the guys that were straggling behind. Oh, Shadowburn, you got hooked all the way back in there, buddy. But now Renegade's trying to reinitiate here if they can, just hanging back for now, but a lot of ultimates in the favor of FaZe. So, I mean, if Renegades is going to take a fight, they should probably, well, might need to do so soon as they are getting close. Here comes the Graviton Surge going to come out. Not really much follow-up on the side of FaZe, though. There is going to be a nano boost out from Fact Fiction as he goes forward. Juvenile gets the nano boost as well. And there is a self-destruct. Shadowburn gets to with that. Jur and Jesus both going down. The double J's. And here we go, Shadowburn just continuing to pelt away, and there's going to be an Earth Shatter as well. A whole slew of ultimates being used on both sides, but in the end, FaZe still pressing forward here. Shadowburn is out of his suit, out of his mech, and he's just trying to get it back. He is indeed able to. So the fight continues right here, and there's going to be a sound barrier initiated with the self-destruct as well, coming in on the side of Renegades, and Man of Snow is able to get Raucous, and that should be enough for Renegades to hold on here, make FaZe back up, and regroup for another fight.
Man of Snow stepping up there to press out Shadowburn's D.Va from the side of the fight. Renegades starting to find some stable footing after that. Looks like they're getting very close to a nano boost. They do have a Graviton. Meanwhile, FaZe, they're going to break out that whole hog.
Here we go. I thought I heard something about a Graviton being used there, but I don't see one out on the field. I think it may have been eaten by a D.Va here. There was a whole hog used by Too Easy, and here comes the nano boost out as well. Here we go. There is going to be a Graviton. Jur is able to take down Forsaken in the Lucio v. Lucio battle, and Zombs trading out here as he gets Sherlocky. Jesus falls. Look at this. The frags going the way of FaZe. That's 3 for them. Make the 4, in fact. And they are going to continue pressing on forward here. Jesus switching over to Tracer, try and get back out onto that cart as quick as he possibly can, but I'm not sure if anybody's going to be able to stop it. Jesus getting there just in time to stall this one out. Will they be able to win this fight, though? That's the question. There's a self-destruct that goes down. FaZe member still hanging on strong on this cart. Juvenile got taken down by Too Easy as well, and Raucous is giving off that nano boost up in front to Fact Fiction as he just swings away at all the guys that are in his sights. They have no chance against that one, and he's able to get a few with that. There is going to be a Graviton onto the card. Juvenile does get one here, and he's going to use another Shatter. This may be enough to actually get Renegades back into this fight. There's a self-destruct on the card as well. Look at this. Renegades are hanging on for the time being. FaZe still hasn't capped yet. There's only 5 seconds to do so. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the team back up in enough time to be able to contest this cart. And there is going to be overtime here as Forsaken gets in just in time to touch the cart, but the rest of FaZe needs to hurry up and get in 2 already the way of Renegades. The sound barrier as well. That should seal the deal for them. Should, as Mangachu gets a nano boost as well, and they are hanging on for dear life as this fight just continues on and on and on. It goes back and forth, but Renegades hangs on in the end. They were able to get back out there. Look at that. Oh, man.
Man, just there in that last fight, the Reinhardt charge from, I believe it was Juvenile onto Fact Fiction really set everything up, that shield being gone. Not to mention, for Renegades, Jesus was able to break out a Tracer and get a Pulse Bomb just in the overtime alone. Here it's right around here. There was a graviton that you were mentioning that. Actually, we did see Too Easy was standing in the middle of it with Whole Hog, but that's one of the things that
blind.
I think you noticed that Too Easy likes to use Whole Hog in particular for just sort of the zoning, the pushback, the mechanics of it. So more so than the kill of it. And we'll hold it so they get into graviton, and it kind of has not quite the same kind of countering effects as a sound barrier, and certainly not a tranquility, but it can push everybody away and really make it a big problem to fire into that graviton. And it was able to work that time around for Too Easy, as none of them went down inside that that graviton there. But now it's going to be Renegade's turn on offense and FaZe on defense. Forsaken locking in Torbjorn, something we saw them do in MLG, some of the positioning. They put it on the back stairs as well, but there will be no Symmetra for them. They're just going to go, looks like 3 tanks to their DPS. We got a Torbjorn and a Soldier. I feel a little strange calling Torbjorn a DPS. I mean, he certainly is. I mean, the right click is unreal at the right distance, right? But that exact location we're seeing right there is going to be a problem. Has a lot of angle onto the point itself, but the biggest problem is its profile is small, right? You know, I mean, yeah, it's behind the bushes. At this point, Renegades definitely knows where it is.
Right.
But either way, it's still behind some vegetation, so it can be trickier to spot for teams that haven't seen it already. But either way, the fact is the hitbox for it, what you can actually shoot at, most of it is gone. It's just the business end that's pointing out.
Here we go. Renegades are starting the offense here as Jesus is going to be on Tracer here. We've seen him do this before.
Ooh, that's a sketchy position.
Yeah, that really is. Sherlock, he was able to get a couple good shots off, but here we go. Renegades wrapping around this back side, and they're just going to charge right in. Look at this aggressive push in through the alley. Juvenile gets hooked by Too Easy right out of the gate here, and he is ailing on this point right now. Really needs to get some heals, and indeed he is going to get them, but Fact Fiction wants a bit of piece of him here, and I don't think he's got enough to hang on. No, you got to start swinging your hammer, buddy. Look at this, though. Mangachu, Man of Snow, both able to get some, and here we go. Renegades is coming to play today as they have already picked up 3 or 4 or so. And FaZe should be getting shut down at this point here. That was a nasty Helix rocket from Zoms to take down Sherlock. It doesn't matter, though, because Renegades is all over this point like a new pair of shoes. And they should be able to cap it off here as FaZe. It's time to regroup and get set up in the Streets phase.
Did Zoms even stop to aim that? Or, did he
so.
just whip it by and let it loose and hit it?
That was great. So that guy, he's a pretty good DPS.
So FaZe already taking some of the high ground, but Harakas is going to get denied. Meanwhile, the rest of FaZe is going to drop down. The play they're looking for has pretty much collapsed. They're going to have to back into the Streets phase here of Hollywood and play it as per usual for the most part. Getting up on the high ground takes some time here on Hollywood.
Here we go. FaZe wants to go aggressive after taking down Man of Snow, and they are going to press right onto the cart and make sure Renegades gets no more free push time off of that one. So Man of Snow is back into the fight now. Renegades has actually almost all 6 ultimates to work with, and FaZe is only going to have about 3 or so that I believe a Whole Hog used out of Too Easy, or he's sitting at 0%. So either way, there is going to be a sound barrier from Renegades as they send it on forward. There's a self-destruct to get things started as Man of Snow is able to get Fact Fiction, and there is a tack visor out from Zoms. They're already down 2, and that shield is just sitting up. I mean, that was pretty... I see now Jur going down to that, I think, is something, unless I missed something, should not have happened. But regardless, Renegades is still pressing forward, and kind of a sloppy ultimate from Zoms as well in that scenario, with the shield being up like that. But
he's been struggling to make his ultimates land really effectively for the most part during this match, getting kind of a questionable graviton absorbed by
Mangachu! Look at that. This time Mangachu gets absorbed. And they do trade 1 for 1 off of the start, and the nano boost is on Fact Fiction, who got put to sleep by Sherlock, and that is just beautiful. Beautiful on a play right there. There's a self-destruct, and Shadowburn's trying to hunt down all those guys that went to go hide inside of the room there. Juvenile getting put to sleep now as well. People sleeping all over the place. Time to wake up and fight, folks. We got something to do here. Tournament to play in, but here we go. It's Jesus and company on the cart here, and there's going to be a Whole Hog used from Too Easy to press them back. Juvenile is taken down in the middle of that one, so Renegade's now going to go all the way back to spawn, regroup, and get set up for the next fight. Here is Jesus just coming up on a Pulse Bomb here soon.
Renegades locked and loaded with an Earth Shatter, not far away from a Pulse Bomb and a Sound Barrier, and a self-destruct here, so they've got 2 I hesitate to call them bang combos in this situation without the Graviton ready to go, but FaZe only with a sound barrier, not too far away from their own Earth Shatter and Nano, and another attack visor, so both teams kind of in business here in the Ultimate Economy, not too far apart.
There we go, sound barrier used from Renegades. They want to go in off the initiation. Juvenile delaying just for a second, and then he wants to come in here. There is going to be a nano boost used onto Zoms. Here comes an Earth Shatter as well. FaZe able to get 3 with this one. The nano visor was able to pump out loads of damage. Fact Fiction, Too Easy go down, or are able to get some, excuse me. Too Easy gets yet another, finishing off Man of Snow. And they are certainly putting up a pretty solid defense through the streets here thus far. On the side of FaZe, Renegades again going to have to regroup. They do have the nano boost and another Graviton to work with.
And Juvenile's no-look Earth Shatter there. Not really working out. Runs into a wall, just 180s. This is one of those things you probably thought he had a much better picture of who was behind him and exactly where. Turn around and just not quite so. Mangachu locked and loaded here with his Graviton. We also still have a nano boost for Renegades. FaZe Clan down on all of their ultimates right now, but here we go.
Here we go, Mangachu not going to miss that time. There's going to be a sleep dart right in the middle of it. A lot of damage being pumped out onto both teams, but there is going to, there we go, 3 for Renegades. I was going to say they traded, but it's going to be 3 frags the way of Renegades here, finally able to break this defense of FaZe, and they want to continue to press onto the rest of the FaZe players here that are left on the point, and they will be able to cap it. So Jur will get the forward spawn, and they will be able to make another push on forward as they still have a few players on the side of Renegades that want to get these respawning players of FaZe, and they were able to get Forsaken in that one. So give them a little more free push time.
So in case you're trying to figure out exactly what we're talking about there with the forward spawns, as Renegades come in and caps the second point there, FaZe has actually been spawning more forward due to that than they will into the third point. So just before it caps some of FaZe Clan spawn, creating an unfortunate situation of just being lonely and without the rest of their team.
There's going to be nano boost used here for Fact Fiction as he just starts swinging away, gets Man of Snow out of the suit, able to take care of him. So the rest of Renegades is already back, just hiding in the corner here. All the way back towards the spawn, they will regroup, and we do have a switch to Genji for Shadowburn as well. A pretty interesting pick to be using on the defensive side, but they feel as though that's something that they just have to do in this scenario. Is Renegades has 2 minutes to work with. There is an Earth Shatter coming out. There's a self-destruct as well. Zoms is going to take down Jesus. Man of Snow gets back Fiction. They trade 1 for 1 thus far in the fight, and Shadowburn is going to be looking to cause some mayhem. But here comes Renegades. Mangachu gets that nano boost. He's able to take care of Zoms, and a couple of other cleanups on the side of Renegades is going to put FaZe looking pretty bleak right now as 3 of their players are down, and they have some respawns coming. It's not looking good as now they are just continuing to press forward here. They should be able, well, we'll see. FaZe is going to come back out and take one last dash attempt at stopping this cap from happening, and there is going to be sound barrier used on the side of Renegades. Oh, look at this, 2 already for Renegades. Zoms, Fact Fiction, both going down. Not looking too pretty for FaZe at the moment. A counter sound barrier comes out from Forsaken as he just got it, but I don't know if it's going to be enough in this scenario. Too Easy goes down as he went to Tracer to try and get back onto the point in time. They're still scrapping it out here, but Renegades look very, very strong, and they may be able to take this match right here, right now. There's no one left from FaZe around, and oh my goodness, look at that. Renegades taking down FaZe. That is, they certainly made me eat my words. Renegades,
well, like we said before, I mean, there's the ping issues and whatnot. I'm not going to get in the business and start making a bunch of excuses for FaZe, although they are definitely valid excuses, all right? I mean, in the realm of excuses, there are some that are just like, whatever, and then there are definitely some